I am excited to be here with you tonight. I have none other than Mr. Everett O'Keefe. And let me just tell you about Everett. I have known him for quite some time, and he is one of the people that actually cares about other people. He is a best-selling author, he's a speaker, and he is also a mastermind expert. And I get a lot of people that come to me and they're like, what about your mastermind, this and that? And I personally haven't done one yet myself. I have my 8-week training. I do speaking, training, my books, all this stuff. And I've always wanted to. And that's why I'm excited to have him here, because I've got some questions I want to ask him to learn myself. But so many people ask about masterminds. And it's like, what should I do? It's not just getting the people together. So I can't do him justice. I'm going to bring him up right after this. But let's thank our sponsor. Charity Music. Charity Music is bringing music to children around the country, young adults, and people who want to pursue their musical talent. If you have ever wanted to pursue music but didn't have the resources, because instruments aren't cheap, reach out to charitymusic.org. They have instruments, and you can get them at either a reduced rental fee or you can buy them outright at a reduced cost. They can do this because they're a nonprofit and they get the instruments from private donations, they get them from schools, and they have partnerships with local music stores to refurbish them. I can personally tell you that the alto sax I play that I'm looking at over here in the room, I got from charitymusic.org. So check them out. Here he is, ladies and gentlemen. I am proud to pronounce and introduce to you Mr. Everett O'Keefe. How are you doing, Everett? Hold on. That is my fault. How are you doing, Everett?
I am doing absolutely great. Thanks for having me on. I appreciate it.
Did I just try to marry you off on the demo reel here or something? Did I say I now pronounce you?
You did say I pronounce you. I wasn't quite sure where you were going with that. I was going to leave it alone, but
I got to be honest, I don't know where I was going with it either. I caught it midway, so thanks, Brain. But I'm so excited to have you here, and even watching the demo reel, mastermind expert, inspirational speaker. You ready to jump into it?
Absolutely. I've been looking forward to this.
So have I. And so speaking of inspiration, and you've inspired me, and you've done a lot for me even offline. I'm maybe touch on that later, but sincerely, I'm excited to have you here. I've seen you speak on stage. I know some of your clients. I've seen you interact with them. I know all the people around the country and the world that you help. And I'm sure there's a lot of people that want to ask questions. What about this? What about that? But I got one for you. What's your inspiration? What made you want to start doing what you're doing and helping who you're helping?
Wow. So I was, my first foray into business was where I basically had to market myself as part of another company. And I was young and energetic, and I was actually able to take over a lot of the market share in my local area with it. But it was simply because I was young and energetic and willing to put myself in places that my competition wouldn't. As I think as I got older, I realized that there were best ways to do things, efficient ways to do things that didn't require necessarily slamming your head up against the wall 24/7. And I don't know, I've always been passionate for helping people. And as I became more experienced in business and marketing, I wanted to help more and more people when it came to their business and marketing. That's in general, but I'll tell you, I was inspired by masterminds by the first time I participated in one. And when I realized what was going on and how it worked and just what an amazing benefit it was, I was like, this is phenomenal. I need to participate in more masterminds. So it's been a great ride, I have to say.
Well, I'm happy to hear that. And we're going to get into it in a little bit. The case studies and success stories, I know some of them, and I'm excited to get into those. So with your masterminds, who would you help and how do you help them? What is the benefit of the mastermind? If there was someone was starting off right now going, you know what, I'm going to start my own thing. I've been to masterminds. I want to start mine. I got as much courage and determination as Everett. What's the number one thing you would tell them before starting any mastermind?
Well, knowing who you're serving is really important. So, for instance, our mastermind group is called the Business Accelerator Group, and it's really focused upon marketing consultants, really people who are building brands for other people, and
Okay.
also those people who are building their own brands and who are kind of on that journey at one stage or another. So it's really the focus is definitely upon marketing and expert positioning. And we know that that's the focus of our mastermind group. If someone is going to start a mastermind group, they definitely need to know what population they're serving. Is it going to be across multiple industries, or is it focused on just one? And the interesting thing, mastermind groups can be done to benefit any industry. I think if you got together a group of garbage collectors and had a mastermind group about how to be better and more efficient garbage collectors, there'd be a lot of value in that for those people. I think that this can be applied to any industry. I'm just thinking coach, let's say someone's water polo coaches, or I don't know. I'd be hard pressed to find one it wouldn't work for.
Well, I appreciate you sharing that. I was actually going to ask you, what do you think would be a very unique industry? And since we're a family show here, we're going to be PC and say sanitation engineers, right?
I'm not exactly sure what you mean by that, but I can, since we just gave a PG disclaimer, no, I'm literally
instead of garbage collector. I'm just making a joke. I don't believe crap.
Okay.
And
gotcha.
This is our show. We get to say what we want. So
any industry, that is exactly right.
Sanitation engineer versus garbage collector. But yeah, you're absolutely right, because so many people, I remember when I was learning some marketing strategies, have you ever heard of contrarian?
Like contrarian thinking?
Yes. One of the things that stood out to me was, and I'm not going to turn this political, but it's a very easy example when people go, you're either on side A or B. And you polarize the audience. The contrarian view is generally why people butt heads. And it's what I love about the masterminds, because you have a group of people that might not all believe the same thing, or you take something from a different industry. I was telling my dentist, I go, have you ever considered publishing a book or speaking? Do you know a lot of doctors, lawyers, chiropractors, dentists, someone that owns a restaurant? Or is it generally the coaches and experts field that do these type of things?
Right.
So the contrarian view with that is, what can you borrow from another industry that's very successful?
Yes.
And apply to yours, even if it doesn't fit. Like you're saying, the garbage collectors, sanitation engineers, whatever, that was a joke. But the mastermind I see as a way to go, well, our industry doesn't do that. Good, so be the first one. Would you agree?
Absolutely. And in fact, for instance, the Business Accelerator Group, we've got people from, everyone comes with different experiences, and they bring in something unique from one thing or the other. We've got people in the group that are publishing experts, people who are video experts. We have people who are all about webinars or funnel creation. At the same time, we have people that are doctors. We have people that come from, the corporate world, Fortune 100 companies and that type of thing. And they all bring their own. And in fact, I think if someone were to set up a mastermind group, creating one in their local area where they pull one or two people from a variety of different industries, let's say you had 10 people in your group or 20 people in your group, nobody shares the same industry. There's a ton of things they're going to learn from each other. Absolutely. I mean, for instance, the dentist asks, gosh, I'm really struggling to get referrals. And the financial advisor goes, I've been training on how to get referrals all my life. That is my entire career. And so let's talk about that. And the financial advisor shares. And the dentist is like scribbling notes feverishly, right?
Yeah, I mean, that tip alone, I was talking with a client earlier today, and we were talking about finances and numbers, and a lot of people think, well, do I need to be on Facebook, LinkedIn, and all this other crap? And it's like, all you got to do is look at your numbers and go, where can we save money and where can we make a little additional? And you might be able to give yourself a 10% boost just by looking into your accounting.
That's right. That's exactly right. Hey, Mario, one thing I think we ought to cover is what is a mastermind group, because there's a lot of people who just hear this phrase. It sounds really cool. But they don't know where it comes from or really what it pertains to. Other
That's a
than,
great question. How would you explain it in your words?
yeah, I mean, because as you know, high performers are almost always in a mastermind group. That's
Absolutely.
one of the things I've seen. So first, what a mastermind group isn't, okay, it isn't a referral group. It is not BNI or another group like that. It's not a leads group, okay? The members come together in order to build each other up and support each other. They are not there to necessarily market their services to one another. In fact, a group that's created with that foundation will fail quickly. Instead, a mastermind group is really just a gathering of people with a contribution mindset, meaning they like to give, they like to help.
Mm-hmm.
Get these people together in the same room. Napoleon Hill is famous for kind of creating the phrase mastermind. And he basically said in Think and Grow Rich that when you get people together, when you've got two or more people in a room, another mind is created, so in the room. It's a mastermind that it is far more powerful than any of the individuals or even the sum of the individuals coming together because of the synergy that's created. It's also, a mastermind group is not a social gathering. While you hope that people will be social and that type of thing, its main purpose is not to just get together and shoot the breeze or talk politics. That would be horrible. But it's just, that's not what it is. It is people coming together to share their challenges, to share their successes, and with the express intent of helping people have greater success and to get through their challenges.
You're making this just too easy for me, because that segues into the next question, which is two-part. So it's not two-part, it's two questions. Your specific results and your success story. So let's say someone goes, I want to be in your mastermind right now. And just if someone is interested, where can they find that? What's the website you want them to check out the upcoming events?
Yeah, really a couple of ways. First, if you want to reach out to me personally, you'll find me on Facebook. I'm Everett O'Keefe, and there aren't too many of us around. But you will find information about our group and especially this retreat that we have coming up right now at mastermindretreat.net.
Okay.
Mastermindretreat.net. But Everett O'Keefe on Facebook, mastermindretreat.net on the web.
Excellent. So they're interested, they want to learn more about it, and they go check it out and everything. So the specific results, when you're taking someone on, they have to apply, right?
Yes.
They have to apply. What is your desired outcome for them? What specific results do you want them to get from applying and going through your mastermind?
Yeah. So of course, a mastermind is a very highly individualized experience. And everybody comes to it from a different place, and they're all headed to a different place, even if they're in the same industry. You may have someone with an inkling of experience who is at the beginning of their journey, sitting at a table with somebody who has 30 years in the industry and is looking for another challenge, like how to monetize their exit from the industry. So there's some different things there.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking for people in our particular group who have some level of expertise in their subject matter. They don't have to know it all, but they need to know something that they're going to bring to the table.
Contribution.
Absolutely. They've got to have the right attitude. And I'll be honest with you, there's a little bit of, part of the reason for the application process is some people just don't belong in some mastermind groups, and that has to be kind of weighed out. We love people to contribute, and we love people who like to give, but we don't like people who are just takers. Takers don't last long in a mastermind group.
Takers don't last long anywhere. It's the same reason I have an application for my master class. And when you said we're not looking for, you want some level of expertise, but you don't need to be a know-it-all, I'm thinking, I don't want to be around know-it-alls because you're not going to learn a thing.
Yeah, I mean, let's put it this way. The best experts are those people who are experts and recognize that they're not experts. at the same time, if that makes any sense whatsoever.
It does. It very much does, because you can be at a high level yourself, but it's that always wanting to learn attitude where, you know, you don't want to be the smartest person in the room. 9 times out of 10 you are, though, but you know you can still do more and there's still more to learn.
I'll tell you, Zamira Jones is very famous. Famous, I mean, very accomplished. Most people won't know who he is, but he's a television producer. In fact, he was one of the ones that discovered Sean Hannity, and he's been instrumental in a lot of television and news careers. Zamira came to our very first retreat, and his comment was, yes, he says, the second you walk into the room, you are no longer the smartest person in the room. And there's this magical give and take that happens. We at our events, our live events, which are different than just a standard mastermind group, you know, we do hot seats for people where people can sit down and they can say, look, I've got this challenge or I've got this idea and help me. And then for the next half hour, that person is the focus of all the minds, all the brain power in the room. And, you know, most of these people in the room charge $200-300 an hour for their time. So that little half hour experience among the group would cost them a fortune to have. And it's astounding. People come to our groups and our events and they go, wow, just the mastermind group or just the hot seat alone was well worth the effort to get to the event. And then, of course, in my mind, the way I run mastermind groups is we talk about content. We've got content blocks where members from the group are sharing on a particular area of expertise they have. Then we have the hot seats. And then we have those times where people are like, hey, what are you discovering? What's the coolest thing you found this week and that you can share with the group? In fact, can I share one right now?
Yeah.
Is that okay? All right.
Absolutely.
On our last call, let me set, let's talk about this at some point, but let me set it aside. On our last call, someone said, hey, we discovered this really cool thing. And over at, dang it, at Vistaprint. Sorry about that. At Vistaprint, this thing called the promo box. Have you seen this promo box?
Oh,
do you know?
okay. No, I want to see yours. I think I know what you're talking about from them, though.
Yeah, so it's this little deal, and the first one's only $5 because they want to get you sucked into it. But then if you sign up for a subscription for like $20 a month or whatever, what they'll do is every month they'll send you a box of goodies branded to your company. Okay, just randomly.
Okay.
Say what you want. You just give them your logo and your shirt size and your tagline, and they start sending you stuff. So mine came today.
Oh, nice. Perfect timing.
So I'll open it up. There's some like sales material with it, right? And then a nice card that they've written. Am I full screen or just part screen here?
You're getting cut off. All I see is the box right now.
All right. Well, no. All right. That's fine. That's what I want them to see.
Okay.
And then I open it up. I'm like, oh my gosh. So first, they've given me pictures of all this stuff they can create for me. They created a bunch of branded stickers for my publishing company.
Ignite Press.
Yep, for Ignite Press.
The flame. Very nice.
They created some really nice postcards and sent it with envelopes. And they didn't just send one. There's a stack of...
Yeah, it looks like a lot. I remember when I got the initial, hey, here's our different types of flyer material, gloss, matte, all that years ago. There's a lot of varieties for this stuff.
Yeah. And then they sent me a T-shirt branded to me as well. So,
you got to hold that. I got to see that. Hold that up.
See that? All right. Oops, I got it upside down. So now this has a purpose. This isn't just talking about fun, okay? Though this is fun,
nice,
right? The reason I bring this up is because in a mastermind group, people share stuff like this. Mm-hmm. It's like, I discovered that. So Blue Jeans, video conferencing tool you and I have talked about before. We discovered it because one of our members is a live casting expert and had stumbled into them and gotten into their beta before anyone knew about it. Mm-hmm. And as a group, we were using it and nobody in the world knew about it. In fact, we set up a special relationship to get the world to know about it. This kind of stuff, what's the best tool? Have you tried that? Have you bought that? Happens all the time. And as a result, I find a mastermind group actually saves me tons of money because yes, they do cause me to see some new shiny fish, but there's a lot of shiny fish I don't have to buy because Someone in the group's already bought it and they've checked it out and they've said, yeah, you don't really need that.
You have that collective wisdom.
Absolutely. If you sitting where you are right now, okay, if you could multiply your business experience by a factor of 10, what would the result be? And that's what happens when you're in a mastermind group. You are multiplying your business experience by exponentially, so that when you discover a problem, someone in the group has already gone through that challenge more than likely. And if someone else has a challenge, you're the one who's already been there and you're helping with the challenge. Someone else goes, hey, I've got this idea. I'm going to create this and I'm going to create that. And then I'm going to make it do this and I'm going to tie it together with that. And someone else goes, okay, look, you're way overcomplicating it. Just do these two things. That's all you need. And you're
absolutely.
Like, oh, I needed someone to tell me that. Andy Falco said it really clearly. He said, when you're in a mastermind group, yes, you are in business, maybe for yourself, but you're not in business by yourself, because the mastermind group really functions as your board.
Your board of directors. Yeah,
it is. You can bounce ideas off them and stuff like that, and they'll guide you through this process. So many of us are in business alone, right? So there's so many people that are solopreneurs out there. I would argue if you are in an effective mastermind group, you are no longer a solopreneur. And I'm just going to keep rattling on because stuff keeps coming to me. So bear with me. Even if you are the CEO of a huge company, you are alone. You are largely alone because you cannot communicate some things to your board and to your employees that
no one else relates to it and knows what you're going through.
That's right. And there's stuff that you can't share because it might cause the train to go off the tracks. I'm thinking about closing off this division and opening up this division. Well, you can't just discuss that openly with everybody in the company. And there's some things you can't discuss with your board, but you can discuss them with your mastermind group, because those people are not in your business. Their paycheck is not dependent upon your decision. And
so they're going to give you the unbiased, here's the honest to God truth. And when you made the comment earlier about the hot seat I've helped people run them and give advice. And I've also been on the other side where it's like, what do you think I should do? And you were saying, they might be charging hundreds to thousands of dollars just to receive the advice. But the benefit of it is not just, well, maybe it cost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 grand. That's not much for business, for learning this stuff. I know I've invested well into that. But what you can learn from that, I'm thinking of someone right now, we'll just say advertising expert, that from advice changed their whole business model.
That's right.
I know other people that, it saved them $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. Other people go, you know what? I was going to invest the next 12 months of this. Now I got the time back and it took one small tweak. Now I only have to give an extra hour or two a week, and they're still getting the desired result they want. I go through I tell my clients that all the time. I'm like, where do you want to be 12? Yeah, I already did that once today.
You're good.
I go, where do you want to be 12 months from now? And they're like, I want to be here. I go, great. One of my favorite clients, Lori, she goes, I'd love to publish a book by Christmas. And this was around April of that year. And I go, okay, what if we did it by September? And she was like, oh my gosh, that would be even better. And I was like, great, we're going to do it in 3 months. And now it's 2 months. And there's some people it's been 2 or 3 weeks. So it's like, here's your goal. Here's your goal. But when you get someone with the expert level advice from the mastermind coaching, just not keeping it to yourself, maybe it doesn't need to take as long. And now you can enjoy the next 6 months and share the accomplishments with the group and inspire them.
And that's why our group is called the Business Accelerator Group, because you should be able to accomplish stuff much more rapidly in the confines of a mastermind group. And honestly, that goes back to Napoleon Hill. He said, when you're equipped with brain power and the other resources of your mastermind group, you can accomplish stuff oftentimes in a year that would have maybe taken you a lifetime in your career. And we've seen that. You mentioned about transformations. I think Yael, who's in our group, she doubled her rates coming out of one of our retreats because
Wow.
the group counseled her to double her rates. She was terrified to do it, but they said, no, you need to
Hmm.
do it and it'll work. She doubled her rates. She maybe lost 5% of her clientele. Now you do the math on that. Double your rates, but lose 5% of your
You're
clientele.
still up
Is
45%.
that okay? Is that a decent return on investment? Now, by the way, she just did it again. She just increased her rates again, and so it it's these are the types of things. By the way, I saw Kelly's comment here talking about passion, determination, drive, creative minds getting together is a win-win. It is. It's also super fun. Like I have never the first mastermind event that we put on, I came out of it. My buddy John Riding, we sat down. We have never had more fun in our lives than doing our mastermind retreats. Of course, part of that's because we have a lot of food and some good drink, and we go do fun stuff too. But amazing. If you've not been in a mastermind experience, you need to make sure to do that. It will be transformational. And I know that word gets overused, but I have seen it time and
I
time
don't
and
think it's
time.
overused. I think it's underused because there's people that come to me and, I say I provide a transformation, which I do. And people come to me, tell me what they do. I'm like, holy crap, they're freaking rock stars. They're magicians. And they're like, oh, all I do is dit, 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 dit. My client was consulting earlier. Let me see here. I got okay, there's no notes that you can see on here, but who would like this? Going from 0 to over 10 grand a month in 5 months,
Huge.
to going from 40 grand a month to 90 grand a month in 6 months.
That's
I'm like, and he's just saying this so nonchalant for dozens and dozens of people. I'm like, why is none of this in any of your marketing? Why, and that's what we're doing because so many people don't see that. So we're going to get into that. But the last question, well, it's not the last one, but you were talking about Yael, and she's awesome. She's worked with me too, and I'm happy to hear she's doing that now. But success stories.
Mm-hmm.
Is she your biggest success story, or is there another one? Who's the biggest success story you've seen? The transformation that we're talking about. They came into the group, had the transformation from the mastermind, and now what are they doing?
So I'll just use her first name, but Carrie, and Carrie, she came into our group as a neophyte in the publishing industry. She
Okay.
knew she wanted to publish a book, and she wanted to publish books for others. But she came in. Now she had experience in the business world and a phenomenal person with excellent poise, huge heart, one of the kindest people I know. She came in, and because of she came to our first retreat, which I think was in Yosemite. With that event, and then and follow-ons, and the support and the accountability that comes with the group, within a year she was an international publishing expert, and we have people in the extended community coming to her because she was the expert in regards to international book launches. That happened in the space of a year's time. And she blew right by a bunch of people who were much further down the road than she was. It's amazing. I don't know if that's the biggest one, but it is one of many transformations, one of many success stories that have come out of participation in the mastermind group.
That's fantastic. I remember her. I know who you're talking about. I remember before, and then we stay in touch, and I was like, what have you been up to? And she was telling me a lot of good stuff too, but that's what you're saying is the people who are more experienced, you can learn that, and you're taking their expertise, and if you have that ambition and want to go further, the phrase "you're standing on shoulders of giants," it's I'd imagine that's what every parent wants for their kids. I got here, now you're starting here, and leaving a legacy. So we've been talking a lot about you said video experts and publishing experts, which how would you say video has helped your business?
Oh, videos. absolutely critical. I mean, look, here we are, right? We're on video now. We use video conferencing for our meetings. We use live casting to promote events and to promote clients. In fact, some of my best clients I do live casts for, and I learned that from people like yourself and including yourself. It's like I've watched a lot of the things that you do. One of the things that I still cannot manage to do is outdress you. And I guess I just have to kind of cave and go with that. But no, video is here's my mind. In my mind, in almost any industry, if you're not communicating with video, you're leaving on the table your most effective tool.
Why is it your most effective tool?
Because it's the only medium that you can use where you can connect with somebody basically eye to eye, but one to many. I can have a personal conversation with thousands of people at the same time, but not be in the same room with them. People connect with your emotions. They connect with your facial expressions. They connect with the stupid mistakes you make, the ums, the ahs, the things that are not perfect and professional.
Knocking the pop filter off the mic like 5 times.
Knocking the pop filter off the mic. That's exactly right. All of those things are really just about being real. And I'll be honest with you, I've seen people speak from the stage that were so polished, so professional. Every word was planned in advance and just crafted, and every little motion perfectly crafted. And I can't relate with those people at all. And they can't sell me anything because I don't see the reality. I don't see.
You don't believe it.
I don't believe it. And yet video gives a chance for people to just be authentic and communicate with each other.
And it keeps it very interesting when you decide to do everything live because there's never any tech issues.
Yeah, so that's the thing about live casting, right? And I've learned a lot.
Were you laughing and smiling at me when your video was playing? Because I could see you there, and I think you knew what I was doing before we started.
I mean, honestly, I couldn't tell if you were running it without audio. I couldn't tell if you hadn't switched it to the right camera.
Yeah, it was that one.
Any of that, but I knew that my job was to grin and smile at the camera. So
I saw you, and I was sitting there like this at one point, and
yeah, I'm wondering if that actually came out. Actually, I was sure, but like this, is he sure the camera's not on him when he's going like that?
Well, everyone knows what was going on now, but they were only seeing the video, and there was something, and I was like, oh my gosh. Like the first 4 seconds, this is how I'm kicking it off, and I seen you smiling like that with your nice smile, and I'm like, because you know what's going on, and it's not like, oh, I don't know anything about video, but that's the thing. You just get to roll with it. So video is huge. You can be authentic. I tell people that all the time. Yeah. Even if you screw stuff up, just keep rolling with it. So video is important. This is the last thing. Then we're going to go to the sponsor. But okay. How has publishing helped you?
Publishing is the single best thing you can do to give authority, to elevate your position as an expert. Video allows you to communicate one to many and to establish rapport. Publishing, I believe, is key to establishing authority, that position of expert status. So that's why we publish books. That's why our clients come to us over and over, because they need to get their message out. They know publishing is effective. And we still, even in this time when it's easier than ever to publish a book, we still regard authors with this. We give them, it's like God status almost, and we give them with just such high regard. And then add to that #1 bestseller. Now people are breathing rare air indeed.
So, an international bestseller.
Our international #1 bestseller. That's right. All of that gives expert status in a way that not many other things do.
Yeah, one of my favorite things, I think the camera's off it now, but physicality.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Oh, I have an ebook. It's right. Good for you. I have a real book.
Here's my PDF. We call it thud factor. Books have thud factor. You can put them on someone's desk, or put it in their hand, and it's got.
Yeah, how oh my gosh, that'd be awesome for like a video to do. Have a SPL meter and like just drop them. Be like, no, you need this one. See who has the loudest decibels on it.
Right.
All right, so we're going to thank the sponsor real quick and then come back and get into some very specifics, like who would like to learn what's the fastest path to... Nice, can't edit it. What's the fastest path to the cash? Everett will be answering that in just a moment. So, charity music. Have you ever had a desire to play music? Have you ever desired to listen to music? You can bring both of those together. Check out charitymusic.org. If you've ever wanted to play an instrument and just didn't know where to start or didn't want to invest the thousands of dollars it usually takes to get started, check out charitymusic.org. They can get an instrument in your hands at a reduced rental fee, or you can buy it outright for a reduced cost. And we're back. So, while we're being authentic, what's the next question for you? Rapid fire. Shortest path to the cash. What's one thing your audience could do to increase their profits the fastest? Take it away, Everett.
Spend 30 days and publish a book.
Would you care to elaborate on that?
I don't know. I thought this was supposed to be really fast, so I'm just being really fast.
Oh.
Yeah. Our first book.
Cool.
We had the idea to publish a book, make it a bestseller on Amazon, and I called my business partner on the way back from a conference. I said, tomorrow we're meeting in the conference room. We're writing a book. He said, yeah, really? What's it about? I said, it's about video marketing. And he goes, really? Okay. And we sat down and recorded a book in about 2.5 hours time, had it transcribed, and then went through a publishing process that we had learned. And that book immediately brought people out of the woodwork who wanted our services. So there you go.
Excellent. All right. Rapid fire, 60 seconds. What is the biggest problem you see your audience make and the fastest and easiest way to fix it?
Biggest problem people make is overcomplicating things. They need to find an expert, follow the expert, do what they say. Don't necessarily go buy every product of theirs and feel like they have to consume it. Find one strategy that is promising and execute on it. That's it. You don't have to go, you don't even have to go find the best strategies or the best expert. You have to find a strategy that works. Find best later. Go do effective now and find best later.
All right. Very good. Customer lifetime value. What's one way joining a mastermind could maximize your customer lifetime value?
So if you've ever done that calculation of the lifetime value of a customer, right? It's how much money are they paying you now? How much money are they going to pay you over the next year or a lifetime? And who might they bring to you? All right. So there's multiple equations there. And if a mastermind group helps you just to change any one of these three, even by 5%, over the lifetime of that customer and the lifetime of your business, you will see an exponential increase in your revenue. And a mastermind group like Yael, she changed what's the value of a transaction. She made that 100% more. Okay. So what does that do to the lifetime value and the value of people she might bring? A mastermind group will give you countless ways to change those factors.
I agree. And I misspoke earlier. You said she lost 5% of her clients, which were probably the ones that were difficult to work with in the first place. And I said, well, she still has 45% left, when really she has 95% left. The confidence, so you do it once, you're making twice as much, your confidence goes up. You do it again, your confidence goes up even more. Regardless of the money, you're now at a level where you'll communicate with people. I know for anyone that wants to push the limits, to go beyond and go, oh man, I wish I could be there, you already are. It's more of a mental shift. I know people that have been to conferences that won't go talk to the speaker. And I think if there's one thing you do, if you are sick, because this has been my case before, I was literally physically sick, I still went. And I remember my mentor at the time goes, well, you should still throw up. You should still show up, because if you're going to get sick, there's a bathroom across the hall. This way you're going to at least learn. I showed up and I barely had the energy, but if there's one thing you can do, always talk to the speaker.
Mhm.
Because if you can't, it's more a self-image and confidence thing. But the second you do, they might be the only person worth talking to in the room. When you get to that point where you go, I'm charging X amount, and you have that confidence, you're on the same level. And there is stuff you can get invited to just because people see that you're playing the game at this level and not down here. You may never have to change any of your content. You might be doing the same pretty much everyone that comes to me going, what should I do? Increase your price, increase what you're doing, and just think about it a little bit differently, because I don't work with anyone who's not an expert, but some of them don't see themselves that way.
Right. That's exactly right. Yeah.
So
And
the customer lifetime value, you're saying 100% year one, 100% year two, but what's the compound for 5 or 10 years?
oh, it's crazy. Yeah, it's crazy. And as you pointed out, it's transformational to her mindset as well. And she just needed the nudge and the accountability of going, well, I'm going to go back to my mastermind group next week and tell them what I did with their advice. And if I have to go back and say, yeah, I just really didn't do it, blah, 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 that's going to be hard. So she executed on it. And now, like I said, she did it, increased her rates again without us even mentioning it to her this time. So, and the result is, she's working with the best clients, right? Would you rather work with the best possible people? Let's just say fewer of the best possible clients versus a lot of the worst possible clients. Another thing that I, picked up very quickly was, quit pricing your stuff for Main Street. Don't price yourself for every customer in your market. Hone it down to the best customers in your market and price your materials and hone your offer for the best ones. So, and that's invaluable. That'll take you from working for pennies an hour to working for, getting a very good return on your time.
Well, I've appreciated you sharing, and it sounds like people can benefit a lot from your mastermind. Let's give them that link one more time, and
Yeah.
you can talk about what, if they reach out to you, what the surprise we talked about.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so two things. If you just want something for free, I have this spreadsheet for you, or not a spreadsheet, a mind map, and you won't be able to see it very well here, but it is on the one side, it's the value of a mastermind group, and the other one is notes about how to create a mastermind group and how to and also to create a mastermind event. So I put this here. If you message me personally, I'll make sure you get it. Okay. So just reach out to me through Facebook and message me there. And then on the retreat coming up,
I got to be honest. I am so tempted you to grab my phone and say I want a copy of that, because I do.
I'll give it to you. Absolutely. And actually, that's the foundation for a course I am creating about how to create and run mastermind groups. I've actually filmed it all. It's in the can, and I haven't done anything with it yet. So that'll happen at some point.
I'll tell you this. I'll make sure when we publish the video, I'll make sure it goes onto the site. We can put a link on there for people to contact you through the show episode.
Good. So then the other one is mastermindretreat.net. I will tell you that as we're recording this, we're heading to Nashville in a very short period of time, where we have rented it looks like a plantation, but it looks like something from Gone with the Wind a little bit. And we will gather there for 3.5 days. We have a private chef and her assistant that come and cook all the meals. We personalize all the meals because we have a small group of people, so we can cater to not just people's allergies, but to people's tastes, which is kind of cool. And then we've got some surprise activities planned while we're there. And all the food and beverages are included. So if you are interested, it is an investment in your future. It's not cheap, and nothing great is. But if you go to mastermindretreat.net, if you get there now, you may see that there's a registration link for a last-minute registration. If you're watching this on a recording, depends on when there'll be something there about our next retreat. So if you're interested, come join a group of marketing experts and let us help you with your business, and you become part of a really great family.
Excellent. Well, Everett, I appreciate you for coming on and sharing your knowledge and wisdom with the audience. And
thanks for having me. I really appreciate it.
It's a lot of fun, and I can't wait to get this out there. So, like they say it on Bugs Bunny and all that. That's all, folks. We'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks, buddy.